The game is afoot, not a word. Into your
게임
clothes and come.
소리는 들려요?
I'll wait for you in the sitting room.
I've just received a note from Inspector Lestrade, a letter from the suburbs. He is in need of my presence. Whenever he has asked for my assistance, it has always turned out to be entirely justified.
I fancy that every one of his cases has found its way into your collection.
Yes, they all seem worthy of...
게임 소리?
However, I regret your fatal habit of looking at everything from the point of view of a story instead of a scientific exercise.
어차피 이거 나올 땐 말 안 할 거야.
I beg your pardon, I digress. It would be much better to examine this letter than to try to convince you.
접니다. 만환경으로 이쁜 언니 보여주고.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
편지는 책상에 있어. 책상이 어딨지?
The letter is on the table, Holmes.
알았다고! 아, 여성스럽게 말해야지. 알았습니다. 탁자가 어디 있나요?
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs.
The letter is on the table.
탁자 여기, 아이고.
Holmes, you should.
탁자 조사하기.
A wax seal with the monogram E.B. A wax seal with the monogram E.B.
E.B. 뭐지?
The Brackenstall family coat of arms.
왜요? 여성스럽게 하라면서요. 어떻게 알지?
I can tell from Lestrade's handwriting that he was in a hurry when he wrote this letter.
켄트 추 마르샤 메비 그레인지 저택. 친애하는 홈즈 씨, 흥미로운 사건이 발생했으니 이리로 와서 도와주셨으면 합니다. 홈즈 씨의 취향과 딱 맞는 사건입니다. 프랭크스트 부인을 풀어드린 다음 현장을 그대로 보존하는 중입니다. 하지만 서둘러 주십시오. 유스터스 경은 이 상태로 내버려 두기 힘든 노릇이니까요. 이만 줄이겠습니다. 왜요?
So,
마음에 안 들어요?
what is it, Holmes?
Promising, as always, it appears to be a case of murder.
So you believe that Sir
괜찮은데?
Eustace is
이
dead?
목소리 해야지.
I should say so. Lestrade wouldn't have sent for me for less. His writing shows considerable agitation, and he is not an emotional man. These people belong to high society. The quality of the writing paper, the EB monogram, their coat of arms.
The crime was committed before midnight.
Holmes, how can you possibly tell?
Well, it is all thanks to Lestrade. He wrote his letter at 3:30. In the morning. Imagine the chain of events before that. The local police had to be called in. Scotland Yard was notified. Lestrade himself had to make haste there, and finally compose the letter he sent to me. All of that makes for a fair night's work.
It makes sense. Lestrade also speaks of the woman he released.
That seems to indicate that she had been held somewhere during the crime.
Much time has been wasted. Let us find a cab and go to Abbey Grange immediately. I live in hope of an interesting morning.
저 어제 혓바닥 아파. 감기 걸렸어요. 적응하세요. 내일 다른 목소리로 해드릴게요. 음성 변절 아니야.
Ah, Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson, here you are. I'm very glad that you have come, but perhaps I should not have troubled you after all.
And why is that?
Lady Brackenstall has come to her senses, and she has given so clear an account of the affair that there is not much left for us to do. You remember that Lewisham gang of burglars?
What, the three Randalls?
Exactly. The father and two sons. It's their work. They stole a silver service, which is of great value.
Sir Eustace Brackenstall is dead, then?
Yes. His head was knocked in with his own poker.
A violent act of aggression.
Yes, the poor lady. She has had a most dreadful experience. She was assaulted and tied to a chair.
이따가
But
집에
I think
가서
that you would
보여줄게.
best see her and hear her account of the facts. She's in the morning room with her maid, Teresa Wright.
Where is the body of the deceased?
In the dining room. We haven't touched anything.
All right, I'm going to examine
아니야.
it.
Very good,
술
Watson.
먹을까? 목소리 왜요? 제가 어때서요?
Lady Brackenstall awaits you in
거실이
the morning.
어딘데? 여긴가?
Lady
아이씨 어딘데? 어딘데?
Lord Ramsay Brackenstall. Ladies, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock
어머.
Holmes. I'm assisting
맞은 거
Inspector
봐.
Lestrade in this investigation.
Mr. Holmes, I am the wife of Sir Eustace Brackenstall. We were married only a year ago.
I am sorry for your loss. Please accept my deepest condolences.
I suppose that it is no use my attempting to conceal that our marriage has not been a happy one. I fear that all would tell you that, even if I were to attempt to deny it.
지난밤에 무슨 일이 있었어요?
Can you describe to me the events of yesterday evening?
Is it really necessary? I have already told Inspector Lestrade all that happened.
Yes, madam, it is.
I
러브님
will tell you then.
어서 오세요.
Sir Eustace retired about 10:30. I sat in this room until after 11, absorbed in a book. Before I went upstairs, I entered the dining room to fetch a candle and, oh God,
Please, go on.
as I approached the French window, I found myself face to face with an elderly, broad-shouldered man who had just stepped into the room. Close behind the first man, I saw two others. One of them struck me a
어제
savage
3시까지
blow with his
했는데
fist.
일찍 잤다고 하면 어떡해요?
And then?
When I came to myself, I
뿡뿡님
found that they
어서
had secured
오세요.
him tightly to a dining room chair. It was at that instant my unfortunate husband entered the room.
He fought with the intruders?
Yes, I think he had heard them, for he was holding his stick. But they were three, and he eventually succumbed. One of them, the elder one, struck him a terrible blow with the poker. I fainted once more. When I opened my eyes, they had withdrawn. Then my brave Teresa came to my assistance.
도둑 맞은
Did
물건
these three
없었나요?
villains steal anything?
Yes, I found that they had taken the silver from the sideboard. But you can
네,
see for
헬륨
yourself in the
먹었어요.
dining room.
맞은 거 봐. 어머 미안해 더듬어서.
You mentioned that your marriage was not a
왜
happy one.
이상해요
Was there
목소리?
anything specific that was troubling you?
He was not a nice man when he was drunk, and he suffered from dark moods, but nothing else.
The bruises on your hands are at least 1 week old. Your husband caused those bruises?
Oh, do you? Yes.
왜
he
하도
did.
내 목소리
He was very
이상하다
angry at the
그래서
time. Out of
헬륨 좀
control.
마셨어요.
Again. Sir Eustace was a drunkard. To be tied to such a man for life is worse than death.
Your ladyship?
그다음 하녀 테레사?
Teresa, I would like to hear your testimony.
Certainly, sir. As I sat by my bedroom window, I saw three
그래서
men
저
in the
화 안
moonlight
내기로
down by the
했어요.
lodge gate. But I thought nothing of it at the time. Oh, if I'd known.
And then?
I went to bed, and it was more than an hour after that I heard my mistress scream. And down I ran, to find her tied to the chair and him on the floor with his head smashed. That's all I know.
커피 자국이 왜 있지? 할머니예요. 뭐가 해야 해요? 뭘 상상하시는 거죠? 알았어.
아, 이 목소리 나라고? 내 목소리로 했으면 좋겠어요? 이거는 어때? 이 정도는? 한 톤만 올렸어요. 내 목소리 내니까 나가버렸잖아.
이렇게 해야지. 오늘만 이렇게 할게요.
The description of the Randall gang provided by Lady Brackenstall is identical to the one in the Times article. A trapper's hut.
스포츠 중계할 때 이걸로 할까?
This photograph of Lady Brackenstall and her maid Teresa was taken at a port, but which one? This photograph of Lady Brackenstall and her maid Teresa was taken at a port, but which one?
하녀랑 같이 찍나?
So the lady and her maid came from Australia 1.5 years ago on this ship.
탐정의 눈.
These scratches are most definitely made by the picture frame.
건강을
This
위해서
is Sir Eustace's
건강을
safe.
먹어요.
There may be something important inside. I must ask Lady Brackenstall to open it. Lady Brackenstall, could you open this wall safe?
No, it is my husband's safe. I do not know the combination.
We have to open it. Your ladyship?
어떻게 열어야 되죠? 호호호.
Let us try to open this safe. This safe can be cracked. I only have to pay attention. The dial will vibrate when it is set to the correct number.
돌리고 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 건너뛰어. 이렇게 하는 사람 많아. 육체 및 정신 건강이 심히 우려되는 바입니다. 간장, 대장 부전의 증세를 확인했습니다. 그니까 술 좀 그만 먹으래.
It is common practice to keep one's valuables in a safe behind a painting. It should not really pose a challenge for a criminal.
나? 코 막힌 건 맞아요.
Antique coins, possibly of value, but they're scattered without care.
귀여운 척 해봐요. 못하겠어. 아, 혓바닥 아파야지. 안타깝네. 아, 근데 새벽 3시까지 일 때니까요. 어떻게 더 해요? 새벽 3시 맞나? 제 웃음소리가 어때서요? 호호호. 여성스럽지 않나요?
The body is still in the dining room where the murder took place.
식당이 어디 있는데? 밥 배고픈데? 아, 깜짝이야.
You should examine the body of Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
시체를 조사해봐야 되겠죠?
So, Watson, what have you learned from examining Sir Eustace's body?
Well, I can confirm that the death was instant. Sir Eustace was facing his attacker when he received the blow to his
러브님, 왜 그랬어요? 왜 또 사건을?
The head was cracked with the force of the blow.
뭘 맞았는데?
The head was cracked with the force of the blow.
다른 건 없나?
That must be the murder weapon.
아, 여기 부딪혔나? 아니지, 피가
It
튀긴
is
건가?
covered in blood. Sir Eustace might have struck his head upon it while falling from the blow. That is one possible explanation. Quite a large stick, a formidable weapon.
아니, 하도 나보고 아저씨 목소리라고 그래서
목소리 좀 바꿨어요.
Barefoot. He had therefore been in
왜
bed
맨발이죠?
and did not have time to fully dress.
치조 목소리요? 그건 아닌데.
It appears that the bell rope was cut by someone taller than me.
치조 목소리 같다고요? 치조 목소리는 이런 거지.
아, 제가요. 그러려고 그런 게 아니냐고요. 잘못했습니다. 제가요. 그러려고 그런 건 아니에요. 아버님이 시켜서 그랬다고요.
이 정도는? 이 정도 해야지.
A fur trader's cabin.
이 다 깨졌어.
This candlestick is valuable. It is interesting that it was not also stolen.
비싼 건데.
This candlestick is valuable. It is interesting that it was not also stolen. These wine bottles are expensive and mostly from France. These wine bottles are expensive and mostly from France. An empty silverware box. It appears that the intruders have stolen the contents.
뭐 안 했나?
These wine bottles are expensive and mostly from France.
하나
A
비었어.
bottle of wine is missing here. The criminals did not thoroughly ransack the house. They only took a little
이
silverware.
시끼리 왜 가져갔지? 하려고?
Sailor's knots. That's interesting. This rope was handled by the murderers. We need a scent hound to follow their trail. I will take it with me. This is the chair that Lady Brackenstall was tied to.
안 알려줘요.
Antique hunting weapons. The hunting scene.
원래 제 목소리예요. 좋다. 와우, 집 봐. 나 이런 데서 살고 싶어요. 노래방에서? 와우! 좀 넣으셨군요! 그거? 네, 괜찮아요. 많이 놀랬죠? 아마 라그님. 라근 오빠. 하이요. 아이고 배야.
안녕하세요. 좋은데 왜?
아, 이게 좋지 않아요? 이 노래로 아이유 노래를 부르면 어울리겠죠. 나는요 오빠가 좋은가.
This door leads to the upstairs bedrooms. Apparently the criminals did not venture there. This door leads to the upstairs bedrooms. Apparently the criminals did not venture there.
알았어, 시끄럽고. 탁자를 조시했나? 요리장. 이쁘네요.
This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing. This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing. A decanter standing next to the open bottle, an inseparable pair indeed. Chateau Calon-Ségur.
샤토 칼론 세기르. 아니에요.
This glass has some wine traces. This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing.
네.
There is beeswing at the bottom, as if the wine had not been decanted before being poured. It is rather strange that only...
아. 이렇게요?
one of these glasses has dregs of beeswing inside it, while the other two are clear.
원래 목소리로 돌아왔어요. 원래 목소리예요. 원래 목소리라고.
What do you know about Sir Eustace, Inspector? What was his reputation?
A charming man when sober, but an absolute demon when he was drunk. In such moments he was apparently capable of anything. Why, once he splashed fuel on Lady Brackenstall's dog and set it alight. Another day he threw a decanter of wine at Miss Wright's head.
The alcohol seemed to madden him.
To the point that we were forced to intervene several times to avoid a scandal.
그랬군요. 가정학. 왜 때렸지, 나쁜 놈아. 어서오세요. 조사 다 했나? 분석하러 가야 되겠네요. 자, 신문하죠.
There are 3 glasses on the dining room table. I was wondering if...
Oh, I forgot. When I came to myself the first time, each of them had a glass in his hand. They might have been a father and his 2 sons. They talked together in whispers, and then they left.
Your ladyship?
다시 할까요? 어서오세요, 김치님. 왜요? 제 목소리가 어때서요? 이쁘지 않나요? 멍멍이를 데려가야 돼. 아, 이쁜 언니 보여줄게요.
Let us see how the rope was cut.
그럼요.
The fibers at the end of the rope are smoothly cut. Let us try to find out what tool was used to cut the rope. The fibers from this cut appear to be different.
이거 아니야. 가위로 잘라볼까? 그쵸, 예쁘죠?
The fibers from this cut appear to be different.
뭘로 잘랐을까요? 칼?
If I cut the rope with a knife, it matches the original.
하이톤이야? 해볼까요? 미파 수 라 시 나 노래 잘한다니까.
Come on, Toby. We need the best nose in the British
가자,
Empire on this
Toby.
case. I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs. Hudson's cold cuts.
아이 귀여워. 멍멍이다.
Search, Toby.
Toby, go, go. 그냥 쟤 찾았어요. 안 가냐? 왜?
The intruders entered the shed for some reason when they were making off with the silverware. Brave Toby, the best nose in the British Empire.
끝이야? 거기 살 있었지? 핸드 이 시기 이미 기시기 뭐야 끝난 건가? 안 바뀌는데? 아이 산책할 때가 아니야 뛰어. 아니 홈즈가 열어준 거예요.
Brave Toby, the best nose in the British Empire.
알아 나도 그래. 난 791개야. 왜 안 바뀌냐고? 어? 여기 뭐 있다 또. 으쌰. 일로 도망갔군요.
The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall.
또 일 시키는 거야? 이 길 아닌가?
The scent leads to the well. I should check it. The criminals left the house through the French window. They walked to the shed, then across to the well, before fleeing by climbing over the wall. I wonder why they chose such a winding route.
예? 걔 이름?
Brave Toby. The best nose in the British Empire.
영국 최고의 개라는데요?
There's something glittering at the
뭐가
bottom
있어?
there. But how can I reach it?
걸 게 없는데?
If only I had something with which I could lift that object. If only I had something with which I could lift that object. If only I had something with which I could lift that object. The wheel handle is old and rusty. It seems to be used infrequently.
사용하겠다고.
The wheel handle is old and rusty. It seems to be used infrequently.
기다려. 갈고리를 가져오겠어. 토비, 가자. 근데 어디지? 들어간 데가? 저 있다. 이거 가져가면 안 되나?
That must be the murder weapon.
아, 말투야? 그게 안 되네요. 경상도 말을 모르는데? 안녕하십니까, 고객님. 무엇을 도와드릴까요? 갑자기 114를 부끄럽나요? 고객님 사랑합니다. 나구님 감사합니다. 역시 내 목소리가 마음에 드셨군요. 아, 갈고리가 어디지? 어? 이 길은 뭐지? 오, 조명빨 봤는데? 저거를 건져야 되는데 부직갱이 같은 게 없을까? 뒤로 굴르는 거 없나? 툼레이더 할 때는 뒤로 그리고 앞으로 그리고 옆으로 걷고 이런 거 있는데 나 이렇게 뭐 하니까 안 오글거려. 내가 내 목소리 들으면 정말 오글거리는데 내 목소리가 아니라 들을만 하네요.
This door leads to the upstairs bedrooms. Apparently the criminals did not venture there.
이씨. 아, 부지깽이.
Holmes, don't look at me like that. I don't know what to think about all this.
네, 라구님 좀 이따 봬요.
Oh, what a horrible thing to have happened.
부지깽이 된다.
Sir Eustace's doctor speaks of his violent behaviour.
Yes, Sir Eustace was an extremely violent man. A detestable human being, to be more precise. It is true that he once threw a decanter at me, and all because I dared to stand up to him in defence of my mistress. Sly devil. God forgive me that I should speak of him so now that he's dead, but a devil he was, if ever one walked the earth. We met him only 18 months ago. She'd only just arrived in London. Yes, it was her first voyage. She'd never been from home before. Wonder with his title and his money and his false London ways. If she made a mistake, she has paid for it, if ever a woman did. She doesn't have any friends here, so it was especially hard for her.
나쁜 놈이네.
Oh, what a horrible thing to have happened.
범인은 바로 너야. 왜 그랬어요, 러브님? 왜? 아, 어지러워 이거는. 건져낼 걸 필요한데. 미안해요. 많이 아팠죠? 물이야. 바닥이 반짝반짝한 거야. 이 게임이요? 재밌어요. 건져내야 되는데.
There's something glittering at the bottom there, but how can I reach it?
원래 7시간짜리 게임은 아니고요. 제가 헤매서 그래요. 네, PC판입니다. 아하, 오두마. 갈고리, 갈고리.
Might be useful. Bags of seed. Some empty bags were recently moved. Small gardening tools. Nothing of great interest. This old suitcase sounds hollow. It must be empty.
유후. 정품이 4만원인가 5만원인가. 망망.
There's something glittering at the bottom there, but how can I reach it?
이씨, 어떻게 하는 거지? 갈고리. 가져왔는데? 우물.
If only I had something with which I could lift that object.
사용하기.
If only I had something with which I could lift that
사용하기가 안
object.
되지.
The wheel handle is old and rusty. It seems to be used infrequently.
이걸로 하는 거 아닌가? 집에 갔다 와야 돼. 아, 이렇게 만져보고 싶다. 아이씨, 아닌데 여기도.
Brave Toby. The best.
현장? 저번에 했던 건데.
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
아니야, 작살로 해야 되는데. 참 로딩 길어요. 왔어. 밧줄 그럼 잡아야 되나? 아닌데. 아, 이거 아시는 분 없어요? 갈고리도 가져왔네. 너 어떻게 사용하는 거야? 됐다. 갈고리 달기. 역시 잘하니까 되네요.
Silverware. This is hardly a coincidence.
은수저야. 갖고 싶다.
The Brackenstall coat of arms. It appears that we have found the stolen silverware.
왜 훔쳤어요? 선원일 것이다. 선원 출신의 용의자를 찾아라. 곳으로 가래. 선원 출신. 그건 바로 러브님이잖아. 서재. 신문을 봐야 되나? (1893년)
Here it is.
그렇구나. 신문으로 가야 되겠네.
The shipping company, the Adelaide, Southampton, London line, and its address. Interesting. It must be the place where they keep the records, including the one for the crew of the Rock of Gibraltar.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard, they'll give it to you without any
영국하면
problems.
But I have another
프리미어리그인데.
solution. I'll call in the specialist.
내일 하죠. 메뉴. 누구랑 하죠? 왜 몰라? 선원수세. 원피스님 반갑습니다. 이 아줌마 어딨지?
Inspector, I have recovered the stolen silverware.
You are a wizard, Mr. Holmes. And where is it?
In the garden well.
Excuse me?
Unique, isn't
Excuse
it?
me?
Rather absurd. What is the point of stealing silverware and then throwing it
그러니까
down into a well?
Perhaps it was used
돈
as a
때문에
temporary
주는 게 아니란
hiding
얘기지.
place. Or simply the thieves wanted to get rid of it. It is up to us to solve this mystery.
전데요?
We found your silverware, Lady Brackenstall. It had not been taken very far.
Is that true? I am very thankful to you, Mr. Holmes.
Your
이쁘게
ladyship.
생겼네.
We found your mistress's silverware.
Oh, that's good news. You really are as clever as they say.
Indeed.
신문은 다 있고. 명부? 선원을 찾아야 되는데.
It is common practice to keep one's valuables in a safe behind a painting. It should not really pose a challenge for a criminal.
이거는 털어가지 않았어. 왜 안 가져갔을까요? 왜 안 가져갔어, 러브님?
저 여기 있어요.
선언에 대해서 찾아야 되는데. 선언. 제 원래 목소리예요. 아, 선언에 대해서 찾아야 되는데. 어디서 찾아야 하죠? 아니요, 전데요? 아, 다른 사람이라 그랬구나. 안녕하세요, 반갑습니다. 저는 후시래기 친구예요. 제가 그냥 방송할까요? 루미님 어서오세요. 선언에 대해서 조사해야 되나?
This door leads to the upstairs bedrooms. Apparently the criminals did not venture there.
방장님 아파서 쉰대요. 제가 며칠 동안 하기로 했어요. 네, 들어가세요. 명부가 여기 없는 건가? 착하죠? 제가 좀 게임을 친구보다 잘해요. 어제보다 진행이 착착되죠? 라그님 감사합니다. 가자님 아파서 쉬는 중이에요. 얘 친구예요. 조사를 해야 되는데. 미긴수를 부를까?
Wiggins, could you
Hey,
come upstairs,
Gummy.
please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
I need a register, my young friend. If you could borrow it, there will be half a guinea for every one of you. I need the crew list of the Rock of Gibraltar in 1893 and their current employment.
I'm straight on it, Mr. Holmes.
Do you really think they'll find it, Holmes?
My secret police is better than the Yard in many ways.
3시간이
Here it is,
지났어요.
Mr. Holmes. But we can't take it back.
It's too risky.
Put it on the table. I'll take care of it. Good work, young Wiggins.
돈 안 줘?
I left it right on the table for you, sir.
This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor.
그렇군요.
And these are the lists of the senior officers.
이걸 다. 뭐야?
I do not think that this sailor has any connection to the case. I do not think that this sailor has any connection to the case. I do not think that this sailor has any connection to the case.
친구예요.
I do not think that this sailor has any connection to the case. This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. This list shows the senior officer. I do not think that this sailor has any connection to the case. I do not think that this sailor has any connection to the case. I do not think that this sailor has any connection to the case. I do not think that...
넘겨.
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
여기서 찾아야 되는 건가?
I do not think that this sailor has any connection to the case. I do not think that this sailor has any connection to the case. This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
뭐 계속 보다 보면 되겠죠.
Mr. Jack Crocker was in London upon the date of the crime, and he is due to depart in 2 days.
뭐가 빠진 거지?
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
토마스
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
헨리.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. Captain Jack Crocker is our mysterious visitor. He was the only one around at the time of the murder.
찾았어. 잭 크로커를 어떻게 찾지?
This Crocker, do you think...
It would be interesting to meet him. Our young friend should be able to find him. Wiggins, could you find a way to bring this Captain Crocker here to us?
Here? Holmes, that could be dangerous.
No problem, Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, I was informed that you were looking for me, and I'd like to know why.
Yes, it is important that we talk. You will soon understand why. You are acquainted with Lady Mary Brackenstall, are you not?
Yes, I think I do remember her, from when I was first officer, but I still don't see...
It seems your relationship went beyond that of mere passenger and first officer.
How dare you?
Indeed, how reckless a feeling is love, particularly if one is prepared to commit a murder.
부인을 사랑했던 거야?
Explain yourself this instant.
You are aware that the murder made the headlines of the morning press. You read the newspaper report, but to your dismay, found it much fabricated. Once you learned that I wanted to see you, you came straight away. You needed to know what I had found.
You? And what do you know?
That evening, you were with Lady Brackenstall, despite the danger.
I'm not afraid, Mr. Holmes. Besides, all of this is just guesswork.
You would be right if there was no evidence.
What then?
증거. 정직하다고. 별로 안 정직해 보이는데? 칼이 있어. 깨끗하네요, 장가가. 더듬어서 더듬 사사서셔 소쇼 수슈수시.
Lady Brackenstall was tied to a chair on the night of the murder. And it was you who tied her up.
You call that evidence?
오래는 못 자고. 아니야?
Lady Brackenstall was tied to a chair on the night of the murder. And it was you who tied her up.
You call that evidence?
뱃사람들이
Yes,
즐겨
as
쓰는
she was
애들.
tied with a sailor's knot. Your handiwork.
So, it's a sailor who's done it. That proves nothing, Mr. Holmes. I'm not the only sailor in London right now. Your theory is flawed anyway. On the night of the murder, I was aboard the Sharp. I was supervising the repair of a porthole.
At night?
It was an emergency. There was a leak. You can ask the ship's carpenter. He can confirm.
I'm sure that he can.
Perfect. In that case, we have nothing more to talk about. Good evening, gentlemen.
Holmes, what should we do now? Would you like to check his alibi?
No. There is no doubt that these men will
아니, 저
testify in his
친거예요.
favor, and there will be no way to check.
So, what then?
So, we must work with what we have. We have all the puzzle pieces.
Now I understand why you dissected the bell.
친구끼리 담는다잖아요. 트로커 성장. 개입을 했어. 어떻게 해야 되나? 선처를 베풀어야 되겠지?
Wiggins, could you ask Mr. Crocker to come here again, please?
Right away.
아니에요. 범죄자 아니에요.
Why did you make me come here again, Mr. Holmes?
It is over. I know that it was you who killed Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
What?
I know, because of the height at which the rope was cut. The knife used was a sea knife, The knots were sailors' knots, and not least the sheer force that was put behind the
여자를
killing
보호하려다가
blow.
그런 거예요.
And because you are the only one who knows Lady Mary Brackenstall in London. And because you love her.
It's true.
It is time for you to tell us the whole truth.
I admit that I loved Mary madly from the first day that I met her. But I never did come to visit her, for I believed that she was in a happy household. When I talked to her maid, who told me everything, I was insane with rage. I was due to set sail for 6 months away. I wanted only to see her again. But it turned into a damnable nightmare when he barged in. He dared raise his hand to her. He was not even worthy of licking her boots. Oh, I regret nothing. I admit I killed the monster out of love for her. She will forgive me if she is able.
Lady Brackenstall already forgave you. She said nothing.
Mary.
But that makes her an accomplice as well as her maid. It places her in danger yet again.
Mr. Holmes.
You would not have managed to protect her.
Till I die, do you hear me? Here is a letter that sets everything clear. And it is the one that should be disclosed to the police. I am the only culprit. Mary had nothing to do with it. Now it is time to end this.
헐. 어떡해. 어!
Watson.
It's over, Holmes. We can do nothing for him now.
Here is a case that didn't end as I had expected. It is entirely my fault. I know that you have already drafted a summary of the case. You have my permission for its publication, if you so wish.
I'll think about it, Holmes.
Holmes! Whatever is going on here?
That is Sir Eustace's killer. He has performed his own brand of justice.
My God! But why did you not call me?
I apologize. Here is his letter of confession.
So much drama.
You have no idea.
죽었어. 인성수치 대인배야.